So I want to talk just a little bit about Black Lives Matter, give you guys some opinions on them and how I feel about them as a movement, and also I want to talk a little bit about what happened in Dallas and talk about why both what happened in Dallas and Black Lives Matters should matter to you, how it can come down and affect you as a citizen of this country. Now, I did do a video earlier kind of giving some general feelings and opinions on police brutality, how I feel about our current militarized police and how they are controlled by our government, and my opinions on Black Lives Matter as a movement. But now that we've gotten some more details from what actually happened in Dallas, I want to talk a little bit more specifically about the Black Lives Matter aspect of what's been going on. So what we now know happened was that 5 officers were killed. Several others were shot. Hopefully none of those others will succumb to their injuries, and hopefully that number will stay at 5, which unfortunately is a number too big in and of itself, but let's hope it doesn't go up. We also know that the police are saying they believe only one person actually pulled the trigger, but they believe that several people were involved in the planning of this sniper attack. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the person that did pull off this attack and actually pulled the trigger, but he is confirmed to be dead. The police did put him down like he deserved. Now, as I've said before in previous videos, I'm not the biggest fan of cops. I'm not the biggest fan of what our government has turned our police force into. That being said, these officers did not deserve to die. The vast majority of police officers out there are good people who just want to serve the community, regardless of the chosen vocation they've entered into that is currently controlled by a very corrupt government on state, local, and federal levels. But they're still good people and they don't deserve to die like this. So that brings me to Black Lives Matter as an organization, as a movement, and their rhetoric, and whether or not they do or do not encourage this type of behavior. Now, as I've said before, I am 100% sure that Black Lives Matter as an organization had nothing to do with this attack. But there is no doubt that the people that did pull off this attack had sympathy with the Black Lives Matter movement. And they obviously agreed with these protesters. They simply took it a step further. So is Black Lives Matter responsible for what happened? I'll leave that up to you and your judgment. But let me just say this. There is video floating around out there on the internet of a news station that captured people that were at the protest, people that were there protesting against police officers, singing and dancing and laughing because these officers were killed. This is ultimately despicable and shows some of the people that actually are a part of this movement for what they really are. You see, because here's the way that I see it. The person that committed this act of terror is a terrorist in every sense of the word, a fundamentalist terrorist. He took an ideology, something backed by Black Lives Matter, and took it to what he felt was its natural extension, killing 5 police officers and wounding several more, committing an act of terror. This is what this individual thought was the natural extension of the movement of Black Lives Matter. So does that mean that Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization? Well, I'll leave that up to you and your own opinion on that. But I will tell you this, as far as I'm concerned, any individual or organization that puts out rhetoric that can influence or even encourage people to commit violent acts, or like this, terrorist acts, and then they're unapologetic for that rhetoric, and even more so, some of that organization's members actually rejoice when these terrorist acts are committed, then as far as I'm concerned, that organization is a terrorist organization.